Good morning, fellow Ambazonians. Today, na number 20 day for this month of September 2022. My name is Capo Daniel. I am the Deputy Defense Chief of the Ambazonian Defense Forces and the spokesman of the Ambazonian Governing Council, aka Sense Past King, una own countryman. I don't come again with this our daily podcast, this time with no song in the background because of the attack against the church, St. Mary Church, the burning down and kidnapping of priests, a catechist, and several other children. We don't talk for some of the people the way they be for ground for MANYU, and this is not new. What has happened? We don't come a long way. According to the people the way we don't talk with them, for Catholic Church, there are evidence of those who have carried out this attack. Needless to say, the evidence will be out. They always come out. I've seen people who say that we should go out there and we lie. Somehow, when we lie, we will protect Ambazonia. They say the same thing when it happened in Mancon, when it happened in Ekondo Titi. I remember the last time in Ekondo Titi, they interviewed. It also happened in Kumba with Queen of Rosary College. At that time, people were coming out to lie. But we know on the ground that people who work for Human Rights Watch interviewed some of the parents, including Barrister Eno Valerie, whose child was a victim and eyewitness of the account. We know at that time that the international community had evidence of the people who were on the ground. The soldiers who were involved, they later on released a video like they always do. We saw the killing of our people when they attacked in Akwaya, killing our own people. People said that we should go out there and lie. There were video that came out later on. There is nothing like a perfect crime. When you commit a crime, evidence will always come out, good or bad. The wise thing is not to commit a crime at all. The reason why we always say, or people always say, we should lie when things like this happen that involve Ambazonian fighters is because these people know very well that such incidents have the potential to destroy the prospect of our liberation movement. When you carry out attacks like this, it not only turn away our population against our liberation or give them a cold heart and make them to even question our liberation movement, but it also repel international sympathy and international support for the plight of our people. I want to remind our people that for the past 3 years ago, every news that was being spoken about the fight in Ambazonia was about Cameroon atrocity. All reports of the international community, NGOs, and feeders of the international system were all talking about the Cameroon atrocity and the attacks on our civilians to justify pressure on Cameroon and for Cameroon to succumb to what Ambazonians were demanding. Just to remind you, let me play you one of those reports that comes from an unlikely place, Frank's Venkat. Listen.
In 2018, a civil disobedience movement in English-speaking Cameroon snowballed into a bloody crackdown, with a budding armed separatist movement gaining traction. Today, the conflict has displaced some 700,000 civilians. There was international outcry over the February 14th slaughter of 21 civilians in the northwest village of Ngarbu by government forces and armed ethnic Fulani. According to Human Rights Watch, the victims included 13 children and a pregnant woman. It's sparked angry exchanges between France and Cameroon's longtime president, Paul Biya. For more, we turn to Laura Angela Bagneto of sister station Radio France International, back from Cameroon, and you spoke with some of those who were caught in the crossfire. You're publishing right now a 4-part series on RFI.fr.
Yes. I spoke to a number of people, not only in the Littoral region, which is the French-speaking region. Douala is the economic capital. But I was in southwest region, which is the Anglophone, one of the two Anglophone regions in Cameroon. So I was in Buea, Kumba, and Mamfe, speaking to people who've been terrorized by the crisis.
terrorized by the crisis, and some with graphic depictions. We can show the map of the areas here where you went in the southwest region. Right now, they're in displaced persons camps. They're staying with family. Where are they?
No. What's been happening is the separatists have been going into villages. The military, the Cameroonian military, have been following them. People shooting in the air, people, some who aren't dead, run into the bush. So most of the people, or many of the people, live in the bush. Those who have family members who are in small towns in the southwest, or even can get to Douala, which is a bit far, they're staying with them. But it's a really difficult situation. People are dying in the bush. Women are giving birth in the bush. There's malaria. There's lots of problems right now.
So that was the report then, and I will be very blunt with Ambazonians, with all of us. Since Sako came and they introduced this county by county, we have seen the story completely changed. We have seen undiscipline amongst fighters. We have seen the normalization of using of kidnapping for ransom as a means to raise funds. It has appeared in numerous, you want to, don't even look far. Go to the December 2021 report of Human Rights Watch, how it detailed some of the excesses and the infractions that have been committed, mainly by the forces that were lured to join the ARF, the Restoration Forces, and mainly the ones handled by Sako. You actually have videos of General Lucifer arresting civilians, shooting them on their feet. You had numerous time when you have soldiers, they go to the road in Boya because they want to enforce lockdown. They open fire on civilian vehicles. The recent one is not even long ago. We saw the same that they did in Bamenda Manfe Road. They have been doing these things, putting video out there. We come out, we condemn them. We come out, some will propose that we lie, that it does not connect with us, and we don't solve it. Somehow they hope that it will stop, or that evidence will not come out of those who carry out this atrocity. Cameroon is ultimately responsible because it is the chaos of war as a result of the occupation that have brought us here. Nevertheless, Ambazonians have a responsibility we cannot deny. Otherwise, these people are going to drag us in the mud, because when they do like this, the Cameroon minders and those who are pretending to be advisors to us, who we know are part of Cameroon network, they'll come and tell us, go and lie out there, because they know that the international community know exactly what is happening. They have diplomatic corps, they have agents, they have feeders that are church members, that are our community members, that reports to them. We see them gathering information every single day. And by us being deceived to lie as a solution, instead of condemning these people and holding them to account, so that we can assure the international community that such things are not acceptable and they will not happen again. Because when you lie, you only cover up and you justify the actors for them to continue their criminality. This time, I am more worried that you have legitimate forces like the SOCADEF, General Transporter, have been dragged and being used by these people to go for joint operations, because they know he always carry out good operations. They are now dragging General Transporter to go out with him, call him for joint operation tomorrow. They will tax SOCADEF, and this thing will paint the whole Ambazonian black and drag all of us in the mud. In places we do not belong, in places we are not, to define us as people, we are not.
Today, the 8th of number 9 month 2021, I send this message purposely for that places them where they talk in our school where military they guide them. For place where military they sit down. So any man, any man where person, the be for play military they sit down. When I come for day, may no talk I die, no may no cry. No, so don't talk out. Yes. When we will come for that condo titi, especially a condo titi, ma tell on a military.
So that was a warning they gave, and the reason was that there was a military guard in the school. They came to Queen of Rosary College. There was no Cameroon military there. It has never been there. And then they said that they were preparing to march for 11 February. They had never marched in 11 February. There is no evidence that they were preparing for march. We have spoken to children that were there. The agenda of these people is to attack schools. They don't want school at all. And they have not been refusing this thing. They have said it publicly. Let me play an audio from Christopher Anu for you people to hear.
Which is more important, life or education? That children stay home until we reassess the situation before you can go back to school.
So that is Chris Anu. They are threatening people. They say that people should not go to school. And Yerima of the IG, their position is that children should not go back to school, and parents should by themselves assess the security situation. This ambiguity of the IG care as well is part of the problem, because it gives a notion to the soldiers that school is the problem. People going to school is the problem. The problem is not just people going to school. The problem is people going to Cameroon schools or Cameroon government schools or being used by Cameroon. But children can go to schools that are authorized and under Ambazonian guidelines. It will defeat the purpose of the whole issue that we have with schools. We are not fighting against school. So we have asked the IG care that they must, as a matter of responsibility, to come out and withdraw that position and adopt the position that have been taken by the governing council that will delegitimize any activity or actions against school like we have seen. The whole agenda behind this issue, whether it is, I don't want to go to the political end to talk about the hands of Cameroon, because we know that when things like this happen, the Cameroon government, they take advantage and they manipulate soldiers who are gullible to carry out such attacks, thinking that they are doing it for Ambazonia. Whereas the result is that when evidence come out, it repairs any prospect that we can have for international support for our independence. And the more the soldiers become rook, the more they fall in the hands and manipulation of the Cameroon state. I'll play some other audios so that you understand. In August this year, the guy who have been behind these attacks in MANYU, who have been sending these soldiers to go in MANYU and kill our youth and kill our civilians and attack the church, he came out with a flyer that he was going out, having an outing with Sako Ikome, to talk about this ban. They have banned schools and they have banned churches, all churches in MANYU and all across Ambazonia. And they had said that this September, they will attack the church. And I came out with a campaign, me and Lucas Asu, and we warn Ambazonian people that these people are going to start killing our people. They are going to start attacking the churches. If everybody do not condemn it, they will do just that. When our soldiers started to rally around the former ARF soldiers, they started to rally around the new group that they have formed, the IG groups have formed, called the Commanders and Ground Zero staff, and they were saying that they are dissociating themselves from their leadership in the diaspora and was trying to dissociate themselves even from all leadership in the diaspora. We know that it was a warning sign, and they were going dark as they always do, and the next thing you see is the atrocity that they will carry out, doing abominable thing. It is an abomination to burn down a church. It is an abomination to burn down a mosque. It is an abomination to burn down our Ngumba houses and our church palace. In Bui, we have a fund in the area controlled by General Ebube that we have an arrest warrant for that fund. We have not been able to arrest him because he stays in the palace and he hides in Ngumba house. We cannot send soldiers in the Ngumba house no matter the justification. We can never do that. You can never send soldiers. You can never allow soldiers. Soldiers can never burn down a church. Once you start to put our soldiers to burn down churches, to attack schools and kill students, attack schools that are not justified, And all these areas have Cameroon government school. All of the buildings are still standing there. And they don't do anything. It is sad because our people are gullible and they don't receive this warning. They go out there to support things that give legitimacy to soldiers who have been deceived. And they think that by doing this, they are doing good. They don't know that by doing this, they are actually fighting against Ambazonians for La Republique, because this is what La Republique have been trying to do to change the narrative early on. Today we cry, and the people who support all this formation that have led to this attack, they have all gone mute. Their solution is that we should come and lie. And I'm going to play the audio. These are the audios of this policy that Sako Ekome and his representative, Mr. Willie Eyong, who is behind these kidnappings, who is behind directing these soldiers, misleading them and telling them that they should go and attack the church. I'll play the audio. When the audio came out, all the people stayed quiet. Yerima did not come out to make a dissociation or condemn it. Now that the church have been burned, the effect is on us. They come and they say that let us lie. Now, listen to Willie. He's a spokesman and the head of the Sako's group in MANYU. He's the one misleading our soldiers to do these things. Their plan, as I had told you people, was to stop school right up to January. They said they want to stop school to January. Now they came and they say October 4th. It's just an excuse to do the same thing. We know their intention. They don't want school at all. We know that this will only work for La Republique because our people want school. They want our community school. And what they are doing will only help La Republique. If they are doing so knowingly or not, that is another question. But listen to the audio that was put out by Willie Eyong calling for the attack on, legitimizing the attack on the church.
Good afternoon and good evening. Today, now Wednesday, August 24, 2022, we bring the following three important announcements. First, we thank all the restorational friends. Now, in the Commission of Home Front, we get the following three announcements. The first announcement will concern school. The second announcement, it will concern church. And the third announcement, it will concern Ambazonia for the month of September, October, November, and December 2022. No school, it will open in Ambazonia. I will repeat them. For the month of September, October, November, and December 2022, no school will open in Ambazonia. No primary school, no secondary school, no school of any type, no learning school.
So, no school of any type, no learning school. They go use all excuses like we ran the fight time for the past 2 to 3 years actually for fight against school. For January, they go bring another excuse. And when we come up, we want for challenge and they go talk in fighting. I tell all Ambazonian for ground zero, wanna listen for me very well. Any man wey come out say one can stop community school without authorize them. Wanna catch that man, wanna beat them very well. Na thief people and na criminals, na misled people. People ready to be brainwashed. They fight na against the future of Ambazonia. They fight na against our independence. Once you fight against education, especially this time we don't put an alternative, you are now making this struggle to be destroyed, because the international community will look at what type of people are these, what type of people, what type of donors. So anyway, let me continue the other audio for you to listen.
Number 2, effective September 1st, Catholic Church. Effective September 1st, Catholic Church, Presbyterian Church, Baptist Church. Catholic Church, Presbyterian Church, Baptist Church, they no go exist for operate inside Ambazonia.
So, it not only end for that, it talks say they will regret their target be done being at the Catholic Church. And we don't know that one for a long time. For August, I come out with my podcast, and I put out a series of write-ups warning Ambazonians that anybody who go and attack the Catholic Church in particular, we know they were targeting the Catholic Church. They have been targeting this particular church for a long time. They are doing so in their own risk, and it will be counterproductive. They are being misled by this. I don't want to give them a name that will take away my own sanity. But these people who have done this thing, they have done their worst against Ambazonia. These are crimes against our people. These are not acceptable. If you are any Ambazonian soldier out there, they have deceived you to join a group that pretends to have no political leadership. The group in the one that they call, the new one they call Ground Zero Generals and Commanders in Ground Zero. Their person who is leading them is called Supreme. He is a brother of the one who is in Condemning, in Jamaica. His brother in the United States. His name is, he called his name himself Supreme, and he pretends he's in Ground Zero. Actually, he also is in the diaspora. They say that they don't want any leadership in the diaspora, but the people who are leading them, they're in the diaspora. The people who are making publication for them and supporting them on social media are all in the diaspora. So every group who is there, they still contact people in the diaspora to raise funds. It is just a covert way for them to gain legitimacy and organize this attack. And they are sucking up real forces into this nonsense. Even you go and carry out 1 or 2 attacks against La Republic, it will never justify your criminality against the Ambazonian people. It will never take away the drawback you have had in the international space, diplomatic space. It will never. And everybody that supports a group with no political affiliation, with nobody to take responsibility for their actions, when they go and carry actions like this, they disappear and hide themselves and telling people not to say that it is Ambazonia. Know that you are dooming this struggle. You are killing this struggle. Are we not tired of seeing our own people being misled by faceless individuals who account for nothing but seeks to take glory when there is attack against La Republic, to use it as further ammunition or further credibility to go and deceive boys to do the same? Any soldier on the ground who refuse political leadership should never be supported or never be endorsed by anybody who is really fighting for Ambazonia or who care about our people. The unintended consequences are well documented, and nobody can pretend that you don't know the outcome of supporting soldiers with guns without any political ideology, supervision about their activity. We all know. We have all read all type of books. We have heard people quote a soldier with a gun without a political ideology is a criminal. Yes, they are criminals once they don't have political ideology. Actually, they do have. It's just that they want to hide because those people cannot take responsibility for what happens. They want it to just paint the whole Ambazonian bad because they have an envy that the only structured organization is the governing council. So they prefer to destroy the struggle than to let the governing council lead, because they are capable, they are competent, they are well formatted, they have built institutions that have attracted the right characters. And people who don't see themselves in it, they want to destroy everything. We have seen soldiers going out there to do things against our population for the sole purpose of challenging the authority of the Ambazonian Governing Council. It is unacceptable. It is unacceptable. I am mad, I am angry, and I'm vexed in my soul. The burning and attack against St. Mary Church is an abomination. It is a crime against the Ambazonian people. And everybody who is involved should repent. And everybody who have manipulated our children to turn against our own people in this manner should rot in the bottom of hell. And for our gullible people who support these things despite the warning, know that your hands are soiled in this activity as well. We have a responsibility to defend, protect the integrity of the liberation of a liberation movement that is there to guarantee peace and freedom for all Ambazonians and Ambazonians to come. Anybody who speaks publicly must denounce not just this action, but the circumstances that have created the environment for such manipulation to happen and our soldiers being used in this manner. You have heard people who come out have told you that Cameroon is in charge of some Ambazonian fighters. How do you think they're in charge? It's by putting their infiltrators and their miners, people they have bribed already over this boy, to lie them, to deceive them and tell them, go and attack church, go and attack this, go and attack this, go and do this. Stop the school, now school then be the problem. That is how Cameroon manipulates them. As for us, there will be no letting up. We will continue to fight for Ambazonia. We will continue to defend the integrity and reach out to our boys, our soldiers who are being misled. Some of them, they tell them that the ADF is a problem because they know that once they start associating with the ADF, they will learn sound knowledge. They will have a proper ideology and they will be effective and they will collaborate with each other. So the enemy have to antagonize us with the hope that they will succeed. God willing, they will not.